So we didn't go racing this weekend. After testing on Friday, we spent the weekend at home trying to get caught up on yard work. Our race car trailer isn't quite ready to go racing yet anyway. Dave is still working on replacing all the flooring inside and the water tanks sitting out in the driveway. So rather than trying to go racing this weekend, we just took the weekend off and went down to Papa Boo's on Saturday night to have dinner. They've recently reopened for springtime hours, and it's one of our favorite places to go eat down at the lake. The other exciting news from the weekend is that Billy did manage to get his S10 put back together and got it running again. He moved it up to the front shop to do an oil change on it after having the top end of the engine apart to replace all the push rods. Sounds really good. By Sunday evening, he had the oil change finished and the S10 all back together and put away back in the new shop. Now, although Vicky and I didn't go racing and Billy didn't go racing, Tommy and Allison did manage to sneak off and go racing on their own with Allison's Dart. They went up to Dragway 42 on Sunday in order for Allison to get some more seat time and test the Dart. They filmed all that for Gen 2 Garage, so that video should be up later on this week. Based on what I saw in some group messages, the Mopar contingent did pretty well up at 42 this weekend. You'll have to wait for that video to come out to see it all. Anyway, that brings us to Monday morning, and I'm starting to get excited about my Monte Carlo project. I started unboxing all the parts that I've got laying around, and I've come up with a game plan to get rid of some parts that will be laying around once we take this thing apart. Well, good morning, Mr. Steve.
Good morning.
How was your weekend?
Good.
Good. What'd you get into? Did you get into anything good?
Nah, just pretty much hung out with the girlfriend all weekend.
Oh, I see. Trying to get off her short list.
I'm not really on the short list. But...
So here's the deal. I have sold the drivetrain out of my Monte Carlo. There's a guy up in Northern Ohio that has a website called Classic G-Body Garage. He's got like an Instagram page and a Facebook page, but he wheels and deals in G-Body parts, especially rare G-Body parts, which I just so happen to have. Brian up at Classic G-Body Garage also happens to have a YouTube channel.
Brian here with Classic G-Body Garage, and sitting here next to me is the most recent result of surfing on Facebook Marketplace.
Brian reached out to me after I listed the entire drivetrain on Facebook for sale once I pull it all out of the car. Engine, transmission, rear end, drive shaft, cross member, everything. It's all going to Classic G-Body Garage. So he's either going to use it or resell it, or whatever he's going to do. I don't know. It doesn't matter to me. I just don't want to see it wasted. I don't want to see it go to scrap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want to see it destroyed because it's hard stuff to come by.
Yeah, especially 78 pictures on a car. I mean, anything that comes off that car is rare.
I told him I'd like for him to come down and take a ride in the car and hear it run, but he doesn't have time to get down here before we're ready to start taking the thing apart. So I think we're going to take a little trip to Jegs in it. I'm going to have you film me driving the car, and we'll take some video of the engine running and everything. That way he knows that the car is sound, which I'm pretty sure he probably knows that, but yeah. I just want to cover my bases. Yeah. So Tanner and I go outside and fire up the Monte Carlo to take some video of it running underneath the hood. That way I can take these video clips and email them up to Brian up at Classic G-Body Garage. It's a little cold-blooded when you first start it up. I don't think the choke works on it, maybe, I don't know. It's quiet as a church mouse. Can't even hardly hear it run. What's the oil pressure?
About 40 pounds.
40 pounds, rev it up a little bit.
It goes up to about 50, 55.
50, 55 pounds, that's pretty good. After we let the car warm up for a few minutes, it was time to hit the road.
Needed. That is a necessity to driving this car.
It is a prerequisite. I explained to Brian that the only thing that I know wrong with this car at the moment is that the transmission shifts hard every once in a while and can be difficult to get into gear, I think due to the fact that the clutch needs adjusted. Outside of that, and being absolutely powerless, the Monte Carlo runs and drives like it should. On the way into town, we stopped at a local filling station to put about 5 gallons of gas in it before we hop on the interstate and head towards Columbus. Believe it or not, the trip I'm making to Jegs today isn't even for me. It's actually for Billy and Molly. She bought that yellow Mustang back that Billy got rid of a few months back. But unfortunately, during testing on Friday, something happened to the engine. A rocker arm came off, a push rod might have gotten bent, and a guide plate got broken. So after approximately 3 days of ownership, Molly isn't the happiest camper with owning this 79 Mustang, and I think they're planning on letting go of it as soon as we get it fixed, after I pick up these parts from Uncle Terry. I'm here to buy Ford parts just so we can get rid of it
Just so
again.
you can get rid of it?
Molly bought that freaking Mustang back, made 2 or 3 passes in it, broke a freaking push rod and
Oh, I saw that. Broke a guide plate.
the guide plate. Yeah. And then she decided she don't want it anymore.
Too fast for it?
No. So now I got to get a bunch of Ford parts to fix it just so we can get rid of it again.
Well, it's okay. You still got a pace car.
Yeah, for now.
Still got a pace car.
Billy asked me to pick up a brand new set of guide plates, a sensor for the S10, and a brand new set of hardened push rods for the Mustang. After picking up Billy's parts, Tanner and I drove the Monte Carlo back to the shop. That may be its last voyage as a stock V6 4-speed Monte Carlo. Could be. It's hard to tell.
You never know what goes on around here.
You never know what's about to happen around here. Once Tanner and I got back to the shop, we put the Monte Carlo in my garage to keep it out of the sun, and then took Billy's parts back to him, only to find out there are more problems with the Mustang than we initially thought. So what'd you find, bud?
So we had a lifter failure.
Oh. You know, that probably has something to do with the fact that the tack doesn't work, or intermittently doesn't work, because she doesn't know where to shift it at.
Well, I think she missed third and over revved it a little bit.
Oh,
So
I
I
got you.
think that lifter was like, oh, I'm out. So I got a new set of OE style Ford Performance lifters from Jags.
Ford Performance
Terry
lifters.
had them in stock. So we're gonna put brand new lifters in this thing,
All right.
and probably brand new push rods.
Yeah, I already got you a set of push rods.
Yeah, so it's gonna get some upgrades.
Okay. And then what did we find out on the Falcon?
We had one injector not opening at all. Now we've had this problem a few weeks back when we first got it running, and it sat all winter. And we had them cleaned, and the one came back to life. We got our own injector tester now, and so now we're able to do it here and see it ourselves. And we've got the same problem. When they came back the first time, they weren't labeled, so they got put in different cylinders. We don't know which one it was, but it could be the same one we had trouble with before.
I got you.
We're gonna try to sonic clean it and get it to flow. If we can't get it to flow, we're gonna have to replace it.
So by Monday evening, we were in a holding pattern waiting for parts, and Uncle Terry was dropping some off on his way home tonight from Jags. What's going on, Unc?
Not much. Had to bring some more forward pods by.
Hey, look, it's sitting there broke down.
Yes, sir. I know. They'll get fixed.
Junior said she might have missed a little shift there from second to third and over-revved it.
That would do it.
So not necessarily the Ford's problem.
Nah,
Not its fault, but...
Not the Ford's fault.
So what'd you bring me? Got a balancer. This is for my 440.
This is Chevrolet stuff. This is good.
This is Chevrolet stuff, the good
Yeah, I
stuff.
got you the balancer, pointers, a oil filter adapter,
Yep.
and your two number 10.
Yeah. That's for my oil pan.
Oh, and a fuel pump bottle.
Yep, very good.
That's all.
And then this is all Billy stuff.
Yeah.
And you brought me this.
And I bought you that. Yeah, this is pretty cool.
Somebody brought that into the store?
Yeah, he brought that to me with a bunch of other NASCAR collectibles. I've already got that, so I said, well, I know somebody might like it.
Oh, that's sick, man. Thank you.
It's cool. Don't eat the cornflakes.
Yeah, I won't eat the cornflakes.
Don't eat those.
June, no, don't eat the
Don't
cornflakes,
eat the
honey.
cornflakes.
Well, guess what? I got a visitor coming tonight.
Who?
Addie's coming up with her Malibu because Wednesday is Junior Street Test and Tune at Trails.
I'm going.
Wednesday. You're going?
Yeah, I'm going.
You're going?
I'm going. Yeah.
I didn't know you were going.
Yeah. They came the other day and said that y'all were going to go, and I said I'm off Wednesday. I'll go.
Nice.
Yeah, so I want to go out there. Definitely watch it.
So they're bringing the car up tonight for me to go over with her because she has never driven it. Well,
So
sort
she
of.
drove it around. Not really driven it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I want them to bring the car up tonight, leave it here. I want to go over the car real quick tomorrow, nut and bolt everything, make sure the car's safe and sound, and then I'm going to go down there with her on Wednesday, and we're going to do a little test and tune session with Addie and her Malibu. I might unhook the secondary, so
That might be a good thing.
because that thing should probably go into the 10s on motor.
It should.
I don't know. I mean, we've never made a pass in it, but
Well, out in Mexico, though, it was lifting the wheels, so
yeah, I mean, it ran pretty good.
it ran pretty good. G-body cheat codes.
Yeah.
G-body cheat codes. No, that's great. That's awesome. I bet she came to sleep.
Oh my God, she's ate up with it.
Oh, I know.
She's completely. I have never seen a kid ate up with drag racing as much as she does.
Cool. I mean, it's so cool. I'm glad to see kids wanting to get involved.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's nice.
So by late Monday evening, I was expecting a car to be dropped off in my driveway. It was kind of an unexpected situation, but Addie's mom and dad made it happen. They rounded up a trailer and brought the Malibu up and dropped it off for me as soon as they possibly could. So, is she excited?
Yes, very excited. Mom and Dad are nervous.
You and The only person involved in this that's absolutely not nervous is Miss Addie. She can't wait. You're back.
Yep. The day has come.
Your dad says you're excited.
Yes, I am.
So is Dad riding with you or me?
You.
Why?
Because I want you to teach me.
You want me to teach you?
Yeah.
What's wrong with listening to Dad? Where did Dad go? You don't want to listen to your dad?
No.
Yeah, my kids didn't want to listen to me either, you know. That's the way it goes. Your kids will listen to anybody but their dad. All right, so Wednesday, have you guys got all the paperwork filled out? And
It's going to be no race tomorrow.
okay, so there's all kinds of paperwork, red tape, hoops to jump through to get you. Oh yeah, we got to sign our lives away, and you're going to be making your first passes.
Yes.
Yeah, I would imagine you probably are excited.
Yeah, I am.
So Wednesday night, what time is it? 5 o'clock? 5 to 8. Wonder how many passes we'll make. Junior Street.
Yep.
All right. I'm going to go over this car for you tomorrow and just kind of make sure everything's okay before we take it down there.
All right.
But are you coming back tomorrow night to check in with me? Because I think maybe you and I should probably go up the road in it a couple times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. On the down low, though.
Yeah.
All right. So that brings us to Tuesday morning, and there's another major project about to begin that the dogs are keeping a close eye on. The heating and air conditioning company that we hired to put the air conditioning in the new shop has a growing list of backlogged work that they need to get taken care of. So they asked if they could come out and get started on our work as soon as possible. So unfortunately, that means a lot of the stuff that's in the shop is going to have to be moved outside for at least a couple of days. Unfortunately, I have already made plans to take Uncle Bob to lunch and meet with him about some projects going on up at the machine shop. So it sounds like Billy's projects are going to move into my shop while I'm gone, and I'll work on Addie's car getting it ready for the test and tune on Wednesday once I get back from having lunch with Uncle Bob at Rooster's down in Newark. How's Uncle Bob today?
He's better now. I got face fever.
So we're going to head up to the machine shop. I got a camshaft and stuff out there for you, some oil, everything I think we need to finish up Jimmy Dale's engine. And then, are we going to put that on the dyno?
Oh yeah.
All right. So we'll put Jimmy Dale's on the dyno, we'll get it off, and then we'll start on my 440.
Yep.
Come on. Now that Jimmy Dale's 434 is ready to go on the dyno, I think we're going to take it off the dyno and stick it down in my Nova when I get it back to the shop. That way Jimmy has something to race when he comes up to visit. Once we've got Jimmy's engine done, Bob still has a number of customer engines he needs to get shipped out, and he's got some stuff to do on Billy's 408 for the C10 project. Some of these engines are still waiting on some parts, and unfortunately my 440 is one of them. So TrickFlow has a set of rocker arms and stud girdles en route. Cool. For this 440. I got you a balancer. It's got an oil pump on it. What all do we have left? We need to get the oil pan. We need to get Billy to weld those bungs on the oil pan for the oil returns. And then once you've got the oil pan, what are we missing then? Maybe a distributor?
Maybe a distributor, push rods if I don't have any.
Right. We got to get the rocker arms and stud girdles here so we can check push rod length and set the valve train up. And we put a belt drive on this one, so we're going to be able to move the cam timing back and forth on the dyno and see what that does on this one. So it's got an Isky solid roller in it. It's like a 660 lift solid roller for drag and drive. So it's a turbo grind, drag and drive, 660 lift. This is the one that's going in the Monte. And then that's Billy's 408. And that's going in his C10 pickup truck. That's just going to be a burnout truck is what that's going to be. I can tell you that already.
Well, that's some fun. He's got the blower or whatever it is he wants to put on it.
Yeah, he's going to put a blower on it. It's already down there at the shop.
Yeah, you sent me a picture of it a couple weeks ago. Ready?
Make sure you tie that one together real tight on the bottom bar.
Little strap, ratchet strap it all the way around.
The blown small block that Billy's putting in the C10 is actually being built out of a Dart little M block with a set of Pro Max heads and this blower that he bought from the blower shop. All right, well, I'm going to head back to shop and work on Addie's car and get it ready for her big test and tune session tomorrow. You going to come down and watch that?
No, I'm going to stay
You're
right here in
good.
the shop and work. It'd be much more easier on my nerves.
Meanwhile, back home, the guys have got the new shop all cleared out, and Sayer Heating and Cooling has the main trunk line started across the rafters. They plan on coming back tomorrow to finish up the trunk line, but that means that the cars are going to have to sit out in the yard for at least the next 2 days. So as usual, things are crowded and hectic here at the shop. But I definitely want to take the time to work on Addie's Malibu and go over it to make sure that the car's 100% ready to test tomorrow night. I plan on taking the car up the road and driving it myself after I double check the ignition timing and making sure that the charging system and cooling system are operating properly. So this is actually the same cam that's in my Malibu.
It sounds very similar to your car.
Yeah, it's a 600 lift hydraulic roller. I wanted a hydraulic for her so they didn't have to worry about adjusting valves and, you know, low maintenance.
Yeah.
I've only driven this car once.
I'm just surprised it has a pro brake. You got to push the trans brake button to.
Oh yeah, Addie's serious. Some things I want to just make sure of is that the water temperature doesn't do anything wacky. It's rising really fast. Now it's dropping, so that means the thermostat's open. So that's a good sign. Oil pressure seems good. One major thing I'm concerned with is that the steering wheel is centered when we're going straight up the road. I want to make sure of that. Also want to make sure the brakes feel right. The steering wheel is dead centered. That's good. Transmission feels good.
Yeah.
Neon did the power lock.
Thing shifts hard.
Uncle Bob built the engine for it. It's a stock block 406, which I'm not crazy about stock block. They're on a budget, you know, that's what they can afford.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it, especially for this power level. It should be fine. Boy, it drives nice, the cruise is good. Front end feels good. Wow, it's got good brakes.
Oh yeah, it does.
I don't know if the line lock works, I want to check that. Carburetor feels good.
Yeah.
It's my old 750 quick fuel off my Malibu. It's stable, it's not wandering. You push the brakes, it stops straight, it doesn't pull.
Yeah.
I feel like it's, from what I can tell, it's safe. We'll stop up here and just put some pressure on the brakes, flip the line lock and see if it works or not. I'm not really worried about it, but because the line lock really ought to be on the shifter and the trans brake should really be on the wheel. Let's just see if it works. Yep. It works.
Definitely works.
Definitely works. Holy shit. This thing runs pretty good.
Wow. This girl's got a race car.
Yeah. This thing should, honestly, I think it should probably run 1090s. Yeah.
Put me back in the seat a little bit.
We'll stop, set the trans brake, see where the two-step's set. Ready?
Yeah.
Not bad. Not bad. This thing's got really good front end travel.
Yeah.
Really good front end travel.
I mean, it come up so slow and modulate as it was. I mean, it was spinning, but
So she wanted the car set up so that she could take it to Friday night lights or Cincy Street nights and run no prep nights and index. So I kind of had the suspension and everything all set up for her so she could do that. So it's got a lot Blue core did the same exact alignment. Everything is same as my Malibu. And, you know, my Malibu doesn't have a trans brake, so this is a little bit more pronounced when you hit it. The
Yeah.
front end, you know.
Oh yeah.
It's a good car. It's a really good car. Although the initial test drive of Addie's Malibu went really well, I still want to take it back to the shop and put it on the lift and go over everything underneath the car. And after riding in this thing, I think Tanner was pretty excited to get it up on the lift and check it out, because obviously this is a little bit more of a race car than he initially thought. Exact same as my car. Blue Cord did the alignment. They put the bump steer kit on it. It's got Viking Crusader dual adjustables on the front end of it. It's a carbon copy of my Malibu. G-body cheat codes.
Literally, you have them all.
You thought Addy was playing around, didn't you?
I just thought this was a little street car that looked like a race car. It's a race car.
I could tell that Tanner was pretty impressed with Addy's Malibu. I just hope that everyone's still impressed with it after the test and tune later this evening. In an attempt to make sure things go smoothly, I contacted Jay Livingston, the owner of National Trails, and he invited me to bring Addy down to the track to go over some things with her before test and tune tonight. All right, guys, it's a big day. I'm headed to pick up Addy. I'm gonna bring her back to the house and we're gonna go over some things of the car. And then I'm also gonna take her down to the track and walk her through some things down there and explain some things to her before we ever get there with the car. She texted me first thing this morning and she is extremely excited. I've never seen a kid that's more ate up with drag racing than this little girl. I just can't, I don't know where it came from. I don't know how she got this in her blood, but it's definitely in there. When I made it to Addie's house, she was already standing outside waiting on me. What do you say, kid?
I'm excited.
Are you?
Mm-hmm.
Got all your stuff?
Yep.
Got your jacket?
It's in the car.
Okay. Your helmet's in the car.
Yep.
Tire pressure gauge?
Yes, it's in here.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being extremely excited, how excited are you?
Let's say 100 out of 10.
Addie's enthusiasm to go drag racing is unparalleled. I've never seen a young woman or young man this eager to go race.
So, those marks are from the car.
Your car?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Were you driving it?
No, Dad was.
Dad was driving.
Yeah.
Clearly, Addie's ready to make some marks on the road of her own. Currently, she's only 15 years old and won't get her license until November. So for right now, she's going to have to settle for running junior street. And unfortunately, the fastest she's allowed to go is 9 flat in the 8th mile. But regardless, she's still got a lot to learn before we ever hit the track in any type of car, much less a 10-second race car like her Malibu. Which is exactly why I wanted to bring her down to the track today before anybody got here, to cover some basic do and don'ts at the track. Okay, see how the lanes are numbered? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have to listen, and when they tell you what lane to pull into, you pull your car up the lanes. And by the time you get up here to the end, is about the time you should probably have your tires set, check your air in the tires, and you want to start getting your belts on and trying to get ready, make sure you've got everything you need before you go out to the track. So the next thing is, once you pull underneath the tower, there's this white stripe right here, see? There's usually a guy right here that'll tell you to pull out to the burnout box, and he'll be checking for your helmet to make sure your helmet's on, make sure your belts are on. So if you haven't done something right, he'll probably stop you and say, hey, you need to do this, or hey, you need to do that. You need to make sure that your car number's on the window, and since the tower is on your left side, you'll always want to put your car number on the left side at this track. All tracks are different, but here, the left side's where the tower is, so that's the side you want to put your car number on.
So how do we know what number my car number is?
So on your tech card, the tech card will either have a number on it, or if you have an NHRA number, you write your NHRA number on the tech card. And you know, I mean, if you're a real serious points racer, you might have the car number on the car with some numbers like printed on the window, but otherwise they just put the car number on the car for you. Okay? All right, so here's the burnout box, right? And there'll be a guy standing right here next to this barrel where the water hose is, and he'll put water down for you. And typically they'll guide you up, and then they'll use hand signals to stop you. And what you want is your rear tires to be right at the leading edge of the water out there towards the starting line, okay? All right, so the next guy you're gonna come in contact with is the starter, and he's gonna stand right here between these guardrails, okay? Starter's job is to make sure the track is safe for you before you stage, and he'll tell you when it's time to pull up with hand signals, okay? So when you pull up to stage the car, you're staging with the front wheels of the car. Okay, and you see these two holes right here, the hole to the left, that's pre-stage, and that will turn on the top bulb in your lane on the tree. The second hole is stage, and it'll light the second bulb. Third hole right there, that starts the timing system. That tells the computer that your car has left the starting line, and it starts the timing system. Once you turn that top bulb on, then you want to bring it up on the RPMs just a little bit with the gas pedal. Bring it up just a little bit, and then bump in with the brake pedal until you turn that second bulb on. All right. Once that second bulb's on, you're going to set the trans brake and put it on the floor. And then once the tree fires, you let go of the button. This is very important. Okay. When you make your pass, if anything should go wrong, if the car makes a strange noise or the engine shuts off or anything happens out of the ordinary, the first thing you want to do is pull off to the side of the track as quickly, as safely as possible, okay? And the reason for that is if you're leaking oil, the track crew would rather you leak oil along the side of the track where it's in a puddle and they can clean it up easy. If you drive all the way down the track, then you smear the whole lane with oil, and that's a major problem. Like, that takes a lot of time and a lot of effort to clean up. If it blows up, it chucks a rod, transmission comes out, drive shaft falls out of it or something. If it's leaking any fluids, you want to leak fluids in one spot along the wall and not out there all the way down the track. Very important. So what do you think, kid? Do you think you're ready to do this today? You got any questions?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Well, what do you say we go back to the house and we work on going over some things with the car and making sure you're ready to belt in? We need to make sure that your belts fit, that you're comfortable with the belts on. Now, it does have a line lock, but I'm concerned that you might not be able to reach the handle for the line lock switch with your belts on and tight. So if we can't use a line lock today, it's not that big a deal. I'll teach you how to do a burnout without it. All right? Let's go back to the house, check out the car.
All right.
There are some other important aspects to drag racing that she needs to learn too, like how to talk smack.
I bet you're a little jealous of my race car.
Unfortunately, I wasn't filming when I got out of the truck, but the look on Tanner's face was priceless. He didn't know what to say.
She's the new prodigy.
She's the new prodigy.
Tommy's no longer the prodigy. He's already became what he needs to become. Now she's the prodigy.
I wish I could have had the look on your face on camera when she got out of that truck. What do you got there? What's that bag?
It's a Lululemon bag.
A Lululemon bag?
Yeah.
What the hell is a Lululemon bag?
Let's just say the leggings there cost about $100.
Lululemon leggings?
Yeah.
They're expensive.
You know about this?
I have a girlfriend.
All right, so you got yourself a tire pressure gauge.
Yep.
All right, you know how to use this thing?
Yep.
Dad taught you how to use it? Let's see what the tires are set at on this thing.
24.
24? Okay. Well, we need to air those down to at least 15 for right now. So go ahead and air them down to about 15 pounds. And then that way, once we get to the track, they're already pretty close. It takes quite a while to get that much air out of those tires. So that's why I want to go ahead and do it now before we get to the track. That way you're not sitting there waiting forever, nervous, letting air out of the tires for 20 minutes before we can get you in the car.
Okay.
All right, so we got your tires there down to about 15 pounds. Do you know how to start this thing? Addie jumped in that car so fast and got it running before I could hardly even get my phone out to film her doing it. Addie let the car warm up in the garage for a few minutes, and then it was time to back it outside so I could get in and take a ride with her up the road. I just want to make sure that she can handle the car, especially since it doesn't have power steering. Her Malibu uses a manual S10 steering gear box, and I was concerned that maybe she wouldn't be strong enough to be able to steer the car in an emergency situation. I was honestly really surprised at how well she can handle the car and keep track of all the switches for the fuel pump, water pump, fan, and ignition. What do you think, kid? Is this better than being in school? I don't think it's any surprise that Addie would rather be out driving around in her Malibu today than sitting in a classroom, but I'd be willing to bet that what she learns today, she will likely use the rest of her life, especially given the amount of enthusiasm and support that she has from her parents and her friends and family. Anyway, now that I feel comfortable she can handle the car, It's time to get down to serious business and launch this thing off the trans brake. All right, you know how to set the trans brake? Put it on the floor, let go. You like that, huh?
Yeah.
You think it's funny that you scare me. Addie was very careful. She didn't actually put it all the way on the floor, only about half throttle. There you go. You're getting used to it. We stopped 2 or 3 times on the back road and launched the car, and each time she got more and more comfortable, but remained very cautious. Once we went over the basics of staging, I could definitely tell she's eager to head to the track.
I'm ready to go to the track.
You're ready right now?
Yeah.
The final step to getting her ready to go to the track this afternoon was making sure that her belts fit and that she understood how to put her helmet on. And then, of course, make sure that my belts fit and that I can actually fit in the car before we pack up and head to the track. It's been a little over a year since Addie's mom and dad bought her 78 Malibu, but her and her father have been watching the YouTube videos from Street Racing Channel for years. After so much anticipation, after so many hours waiting and dreaming and wishing she could take the car to the track, today's the day. Now, the test and tune session that Trails is hosting is specifically for juniors, and in the past that has typically meant for junior dragsters. But recently NHRA has created a new segment for kids ages 13 to 16 years old that doesn't require the kids to have an expensive junior dragster. These cars are about half scale of what a real dragster is. Not only are the cars pretty expensive themselves, but the equipment needed to operate these cars can be very expensive as well. Most of these cars require a special starter box to start them. They run on alcohol. According to NHRA rules, cannot be driven back to the pits. They have to be towed back with a golf cart. So the junior program can be pretty cost prohibitive. But for any of the kids wanting to run junior street, they can run daily driver cars. At least that's what the class is intended for. And although Addie's car isn't necessarily a daily drivable vehicle, as long as she doesn't go faster than 9 flat in the 8th mile, she has the opportunity to earn an NHRA junior street license, which will allow her to run high school class on the weekends. You're going to get a junior street license.
Yes, I am.
And then you're going to be able to run high schools on the weekends? Come on.
Yup.
Now, until Jason Murray at National Trails explained all this to us, I had no idea, and neither did Addie. I wouldn't put that on yet, kid. You're going to be sitting there for a minute. To say that Addie was excited is an understatement. She could not wait to make her first pass down the track, and honestly didn't care that she wasn't allowed to run the car wide open. And Addie wasn't the only one excited to watch this happen today.
You weren't going to miss this, were you?
No, I was not. I was not, no matter what. I was going to be here. Yeah.
With both of us strapped in and both of us with helmets on, we headed out to the burnout box in Addie's Malibu. Now, this is her first time ever doing a burnout, and she did struggle a little bit, especially since there wasn't much water down. But that wasn't going to stop her from staging the car and making her first pass. Addie had no trouble handling the car, which was a big relief to her mom and dad. What do you think, Mom?
I'm calm now.
You're calm now?
I'm calm now.
You made it through this.
I made it through it.
What about Dad? You doing all right over there?
I'm nervous too.
You're not nervous.
I'm chill.
Yeah, I wasn't.
On that burnout, we actually saw smoke. It was a smoky one.
We had to make some assurances to the track crew that the Malibu would not go faster than 9 flat the rest of the night. Addie did a fantastic job driving the car for her first time ever, and we all had a wonderful time watching this all take place. I feel very blessed to be a part of it, and I'm thankful that the videos that my family put out inspire people to get out to the track and have a good time. If you have a 13 to 16-year-old boy or girl that would be interested in the Junior Street program, go to NHRA.com and search for the Junior Street program nearest you. What do you think, Pops?
Wore out mentally.
Mentally wore out?
Mentally, just from worrying all day about this.
I'll trade you your daughter for my 2 boys.
Deal.
All right, let's go eat.